Midnight Music.
Coming up this week on Kings of the Rings podcast, after you've done stuffing your face with turkey, you better be ready for war, because it is Survivor Series War Games week here at Kings of the Rings podcast. It's gonna be in Chicago, and I couldn't think of any other person better than a Chicago-made individual. It is our old friend Smilee returning to the show. We're going to break down everything surrounding Survivor Series War Games. Also take a little bit of a review of AEW Full Gear. And oh yeah, we're gonna try to figure out if He Who Shall Not Be Named is going to show up in Chicago. And I'm not talking about Randy Orton. He's gonna be there. We already know that. So sit back, relax, and get a little bit more leftovers, because we're going to war tonight, folks. Kings of the Rings podcast, episode number 360, Punk Fake, exclusively here on Wrestle Addict Radio, and it starts right now. How you guys doing, folks? Did you get all the turkey that you wanted, all the stuffing that you wanted, your mac and cheese, your cornbread? Real Thanksgiving, that's cornbread. And no raisins in the mashed potatoes either. I'm just saying. I am just saying. Some of you know who you are. You know who you are. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kings of the Rings podcast, episode number 360. We're bringing things 360. It's a good number, 360. I'm your host, King Rickie Rozay. If you guys like what you see or listen to, you've been rocking with us for a while, thank you. Thank you very much. Please like, share, subscribe. Leave us a bit of a 5-star review if you can. The links to all of our fun stuff is in the description below. We are going to be talking about a lot of pretty crazy things this week, because we're going to war. It is War Games week here on Kings of the Rings podcast, Thanksgiving weekend, for Survivor Series. So we've got a lot to go on. It is back in Chicago. The last time it was in Chicago, I was in Chicago, but this person with me was unfortunately not in Chicago. They were kind of stuck somewhere in a panhandle, in a weird place with a freaking mouse that runs everything. But we've kind of switched places, but they are here today. Chicago made, but definitely not a punk. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show, Smilee. Smilee, how are you doing?
Hi, everyone. Yes, I was stuck in a very horrible town. I think a mouse was running everything. They bought the whole entire town. It was a terrible time. But I am here. We are back in Chicago on the south side, where I'm actually from. Not a certain person who says they're from here, but they're really from the fucking north side.
I feel the tension already. I don't know about all of these Chicago politics. I can only handle so much, but I mean, I'm guessing you're going to educate me on all of that as we continue on with this show. So first and foremost, the last time I think you were even mentioned on this show, and I do want to bring this up a little bit right now, you were going through a pretty rough time, and I want to hear it from you right now. How are things doing? I know you saw our show that when we talked about everything going on with your brother, but you personally, I want to be able to give you that opportunity, that platform to talk about it right now here on the show as we get started. How are you doing? How are you feeling?
It's day by day. It's our first Thanksgiving without him, so it's kind of just because he loved Thanksgiving, because he was a fat ass at heart. It's trying to be nice, but that's just how it was. He was a fat ass at heart. He would eat more food than I could. Like, he'd be on his third plate and I would already be done. And he would just be like, "You don't want any more?" I'm like, "No." He was like, "More for me." So first Thanksgiving without him. So it sucks, but we're taking it day by day. I know National Suicide Survivors Day was Saturday. Mm-hmm. I was supposed to go to an event, but a bitch was still sick. I'm feeling a little bit better. I still have this naggy little cough that's still around, but I unfortunately did not get to go because the bitch was at home in bed, sick as a dog. So, because Chicago weather, one day it wants to be semi-summer, next minute it wants to be winter. So, 1 minute it's 70 degrees, next minute it is 35.
Yes, and it's always freaking winning. But I'm glad to know that you're doing well and still taking things day by day. You always know you can always reach out to us. We always will fully support you because you have been fully supporting and rocking with us for almost over 5 years now, when you think about it. Yeah, New Orleans was 5 years ago.
I still do not remember anything from that weekend. The only thing I can remember is what is in this phone right
Oh, boy.
here. And that's the only way I remember the weekend is what is in this phone right here. All the evidence of what we did at Bourbon Street, what me and Will did when I couldn't find you. You were not around. We went to a daiquiri bar. We got fucked up off of like 3 daiquiris.
Why do I not remember this or know about this story?
You weren't even in the bar.
Oh,
it was just me and
I think I
Will.
know what happened. Yes, I was at the bar. I was in the DJ booth.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah, I was in the DJ booth. I drunkenly made friends with the local DJ. The power of being from New York really does help.
It did. And I was so I was already drunk. I had like 3 fish bowls. And by the time I found Will, I was like, oh, we're at a daiquiri bar. I'm going to get me a freaking daiquiri.
What it was to be young, young and youthful.
Now I can't do that anymore. Now I can't do that ever. Ever.
I probably can still go for at least a night, maybe just one night. Who knows? But let's get into it right now. Before we go into Survivor Series War Game, let's talk about what happened last weekend, which was AEW Full Gear, and it was what it was. This is exactly what I expected from an AEW show. Little bit of shenanigans, lots of blood.
Which I was not expecting. I was not expecting that much amount.
Oh, I'm not even talking about the death match. I am talking about, a Jon Moxley match, blood. I mean, obviously the death match had an exuberant amount of blood, as it should have.
They really wanted you to know this is a death match. Here's all the freaking blood, so you can never say that we never gave you a death match. Even though there is no tubes involved, I still give it a B. I give it a B minus.
Yeah, it is. It's still, and I mean, the announcers lauded it as like the most violent match in AEW history, which for AEW it probably was. But it was a great match. Swerve is a star. Hangman Page is struggling still. That's what you have to get from that. A couple things also came out of AEW's pay-per-view Full Gear. I was out at a Friendsgiving, again, surprising me again that I have friends, but I was out at a Friendsgiving and I got a little bit of an update that MJF may be out of the main event, which ended up being a, no pun intended, a swerve and all kayfabe. But for me, I was really hoping, because I was talking to this guy who was also a wrestling fan. I was like, I really hope we get a finger poke of doom moment, because Adam Cole was going to take his place. He's going to go up against Jay White, 2 Bullet Club members. That faction that used to matter. 2 Bullet Club members, and I thought we were going to get a finger poke of doom. Adam Cole betrays MJF. Jay White gets a title. We get a reformation of some sort of Bullet Club that people could care about again, and we didn't get that. MJF came back in an ambulance, even though he had a bum leg and couldn't walk, but I was able to drive an ambulance, and had a match, and he won. He's a babyface, but he won with the Dynamite Diamond Ring yet again. Clearly, a lot of people came for MJF. It was a decent match for what it was. For me, I still can't get into MJF as a legitimate babyface.
I still can't get into it. I'm just like, I'm trying my best. I can't. Babyface MJF is weird.
It's very weird. I'm from Long Island, so I know how MJF is really like. So it.
Oh, no.
The heel is the real him. I'll tell you that, right? The heel is the real him, is what is. Other things that happened during that show, we had Julia Hart is the 3rd ever TBS champion, winning in a pretty okay match. Julia Hart won. Edge and Sting.
I thought it was bombshell. I thought everyone did amazing.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was good. They got to do something with that mid card title. I thought Statlander had a little bit more, but they want to go in a different direction. And props to Julia Hart. She's been there for a while. The ladder match was actually pretty good. We have what else do we have? I said, Edge and Sting and Darby won their match because, of course, they are, because Sting's retiring. He's going to win a lot of his matches. Ric Flair was there too, just for being there.
Why? Who cares about Richard Flair? No one cares.
Well, so here's also
go home, old man.
So here's also the big thing. Number one, we never found out who the devil was, because I still think it's MJF. Number two, the big signing. Tony Khan said, I have a huge signing for AEW. It's somebody that's well respected throughout all of wrestling, and they decided to sign. So that came out Wednesday, and then during the tapings on Wednesday, which they had ROH, because ROH apparently is still a thing, Ronda Rousey showed up. So everybody thought, oh, is the big signing Ronda Rousey? And I had to tell my friend, Ronda Rousey is not well respected within the wrestling community. It cannot be her. Tony Khan also...
But yet she's getting freaking indie dates, which I don't understand.
It's because of her name. However, Tony Khan did mention during the media scrum, because AEW calls it the media scrum and WWE calls it the press conference, it's the same thing. Tony Khan said that Ronda was a special guest appearance. She is not contracted to AEW in any way, shape, or form. But of course, like Tony Khan said, he would love to have her. So that Ronda Rousey appearance was seemingly going to be just a one-off at the moment on Ring of Honor, which no one is able to see unless you pay for Honor Club, which why would you do that? A lot of us have bills.
A lot of us have bills.
The big signing was actually Will Ospreay, which is saying like water is wet. Will Ospreay.
Water is.
Will Ospreay signed. It's a little bit of a surprise, but not too much. Tony Khan did mention in the presser that Will Ospreay is still technically contractually obligated to New Japan Pro Wrestling until February, and he's going to finish out his dates, and then he will become a full-fledged member of AEW. Just another...
Bruv. AEW, bruv. Bruv. AEW, bruv.
Yes. Another massive signing to the already massive roster of All Elite Wrestling. With that being said, AEW Full Gear, pretty decent show. I think I gave it a 7.5. I think I'm going to give it a 7 after watching it. It was a good show. It was for what it was worth. It was a really good show. And it did what it had to do. Now, the other big things coming out of AEW Full Gear was the fact that we have a little bit more of an indication of what the hell the Continental Classic is. So, people are going tournament crazy. The NBA in-season tournament is a new thing. Wrestling in recent times has gone tournament crazy. The most popular of all the tournaments is obviously the G1, which happens every year. NXT just did a Heritage Cup Classic tournament when they did a point system similar to the G1. The greatest single tournament I've ever seen in wrestling was the Cruiserweight Classic years ago at this point.
Freaking classic.
Yeah. And now AEW is doing their thing called a Continental Classic. So what I've gathered here, the Continental Classic is going to be a round-robin tournament where 12 competitors are going to be split into 2 divisions, and you're going to go by a different point system. Tony Khan attributed it to European soccer, also World Cup tournament round-robin stage as well, where the winner of your match gets 3 points. I think ties are 1 and loser gets 0 points. The 2 highest scoring people, or the 2 highest people from each division, will face off in the finals and be crowned the AEW Continental Champion. Yes, we are getting a new championship from AEW, but that's not all. So in kayfabe, Eddie Kingston was interviewed during Full Gear in AEW Gear, even though he's the ROH champion and he had technically left AEW, whatever. Eddie Kingston is participating in the Continental Classic, and in kayfabe terms, Eddie Kingston is putting the Ring of Honor world title and his NJPW strong title on the line in the tournament as well. So this means, I know, I see you wearing your I Hate Wrestling for Real shirt. This means that the winner of the AEW Continental Classic, which actually the winner will be crowned at World's End on Long Island at the end of the year, will not only be the AEW Continental Champion, they will also be the Ring of Honor World Champion and the New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Champion, making them a modern-day Triple Crown champion. Now, before I hold it in right now, Smilee, I'm going to give you a chance to go up. I just want to get the information out right now. Currently, there is speculation whether this is one person, the winner, holding 3 titles, bless you, or is this going to be a unification? The unification word was thrown around by Tony during the media scrum. He did also say that this person will then pretty much be a representative champion of all 3 brands and essentially becomes this new grand workhorse champion for New Japan, Ring of Honor, AEW, you know, something that the Intercontinental, or the what is it? What's, because you have the Continental and then I was going to say Intercontinental, but they can't do that because it's WWE. What's Orange Cassidy's belt? I'm totally blanking right now. International. Yeah, something that you would think the international champion would be. Because so at this point, I'm just like, what's the difference between the international champion and the continental champion? No one knows.
No one knows.
This is interesting. A third of the field has been revealed, or participants have been revealed. They include Bryan Danielson, Andrade, Eddie Kingston, and Mark Briscoe, because he needs something to do.
Wait. I thought Bryan Danielson was literally out for the rest of the year.
No, he's in the tournament. The rest of the field is going to be chosen this Wednesday during AEW's Thanksgiving Eve edition of Dynamite. We're obviously recording beforehand. And so the field will be complete, as well as they're going to start doing some of the opening matches at this time. Now, Smilee, you've been waiting patiently. That's all the details I pretty much have on the Continental Classic and this potential Triple Crown champion concept, which may be unified, which may not be unified. Lay it on me. What do you got?
I hate it. I hate it so much. I hate it, guys. I hate it. I fucking hate it. Why are you doing all of this? You are doing way too fucking much. How much coke did you do when you made this shit? Tony, I'm looking at you in my eyes. How much coke did you do before you thought of this? Because this is a coke dream that you are thinking of right now. A coke dream. Because why? This is a lot. By the way, are any women in this? No, they are not. Where are the women? Where are the women, Tony?
Listen, you had like 5 women and Maria May on a pay-per-view. It's the best you're gonna get. Ooh, sorry about that. It's the best you're gonna get at the current moment with everything. So you made Tony mad, and Tony had to knock down my light. Be that as it may, there is an interesting level to this. I mean, I do like tournaments with point systems. They're always pretty interesting because then you have to force yourself to become really creative. The Triple Crown champion thing is a bit of a concern. The fact that AEW is also creating another championship belt and potentially unifying championship belts across 3 brands is also very concerning. New Japan apparently has given them the okay to do this. I mean, All Japan Pro Wrestling did a Triple Crown champion thing years ago. That's where the concept comes from. But I just have concerns, especially when it comes to Ring of Honor. Like, are we diluting Ring of Honor yet again? Your Ring of Honor world title was something that a lot of future pro wrestling Hall of Famers have worn. You know, AJ Styles, Seth Rollins, a bunch of people, and now we're kind of, with the idea of a potential unification, that title might go away. I don't like that. at all. I mean, this is another evidence of, I think, of Tony Khan.
Why would you buy Ring of Honor, have it on basically AEW Dark, basically, but it's not AEW Dark because you only see Ring of Honor after your collision. Basically.
Yeah, it's called Honor Club, but yeah.
Honor, whatever it's called. And you're barely using anyone on there. Like, there's a lot of storylines on Ring of Honor that I think are great. Like Athena and the Billy Starks. I'm waiting for Billy Starks to one-up Athena and become the brand new Ring of Honor Women's Championship. I'm putting that out there because that is my niece and I love her so much.
Up?
Love you, Billy. Love you, Billy. Love you, Billy. That's such a great storyline. Also, we have the tag teams on there. So many freaking tag teams. I think my favorite right now are Everybody Black. But my favorites are Carly, the Captain Sean Dean, and of course the former Pan-African World Diaspora Champion as a trio tag team. That they are my favorite on Ring of Honor, and I love them so much.
Yeah.
So you have so many people on Ring of Honor, but you're not using them on your week. Like, it makes no sense. Like, put some of these people that you have on Ring of Honor in this trio's freaking Coke Dream shit that you thought of. Put them in there because you're not fucking using them.
Yeah, you make a good point. This could have been a great time to highlight a lot of that talent, and he's just not doing it.
And just not doing it. Why?
Just, highlight the talent, create a new champion, but it's also concerning as well that you still have your top champion, MJF, as your AEW World Champion, also being one half of the Ring of Honor Tag Champions. Why are you doing that?
Which I don't know why, because isn't Adam injured? I'm sorry. I don't believe that he had surgery.
I don't know. Judging by that beard he's grown, he looked real injured to me.
No. He's fine. He's literally up playing Uno with the fucking bros. Please.
Ain't nothing wrong with playing Uno with the bros. I used to watch those streams. Streams.
I loved the fucking Uno streams. I have the freaking theme song that they put on Apple Music on my phone.
Yeah. So the AEW Continental Classic, a lot of questions that need to be answered. We will see how this plays out. Intriguing, yet also concerning at the same time. Moving on to WWE. About a week ago, WWE revealed that, guess what? We're going to another country again. Don't shmoney dance on this stream. He's from Long Island, too, actually. WWE announced that for the first time ever, they are going to hold a pay-per-view in another country, this time the country of France. Backlash, the pay-per-view after WrestleMania in Philadelphia will be happening May 4th, 2024 at the LDLC Arena in Lyon-des-Sens, France. The LDLC Arena, brand new arena. It's just opening up.
Also, shout out to Hang 'em High on Twitter. I know he's excited. Shout out to Hang 'em High.
Yeah. So Backlash is going to be there. This is another international pay-per-view event that is going to be happening right before Cinco de Mayo, which is kind of funny. So we're going to have Backlash in France. We also have Elimination Chamber in Australia. We also have Bash in Berlin in Germany. These are big countries that they're going to now. And if you are somebody who is stateside, meaning the United States and Canada, you're not going to get these little pay-per-views anymore. They have had too much success at this point all over the world. You better just start saving money for your Manias, your Rumbles, and Mania might go to London. Your Manias, your Rumbles, your Survivor Series, and your SummerSlams. And at some point, those may go overseas too.
Look, if Mania ever decides to go to freaking England, look. If you see me in front of Queenie's house, don't say nothing. I don't want nothing. Okay, I'm gonna have to come outside Queenie's house. Sorry, she's dead.
Yeah, she is.
The King's house. I'm gonna be outside the King's house. Like, hey, what's up, cuz? By the way, I may or may not be related to the freaking royal family, but that's a whole other fucking thing. I will not get on a
Yeah, shout out to Harry and Meghan, by the way. That's
God, Harry and Meghan. What's
yeah,
up,
exactly.
guys?
Shout out to Harry and Meghan. I love those two. But yeah, Backlash is coming. That's going to be huge. I can't wait to see what they do with this. I mean, there are some pretty historic crowds that we've seen throughout the world. We've seen an Australia crowd. Puerto Rico really did like set the bar for like what it is. That's the crowd to be.
Please, I beg, go back to fucking Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
That shit was lit. That was the best. I'm gonna say that was one of the freaking best shows, especially with Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny. Bad fucking
Yeah,
Bunny.
there's a reason Logan Paul didn't show up to that show. Anywho, I'm interested to see, and we always know what a UK crowd can do, so I'm interested to see what the French crowd will be like, and also what a German crowd will be like. This is going to be a really interesting time next year in WWE. On the same day that they talked about Backlash coming to France, they also said, oh yeah, by the way, stateside, we partnered with one of the biggest college football conferences in America, known as the Big 12.
Second.
I said one of the biggest. I said one of the biggest.
Oh my God, I had the SEC over here. SEC.
Listen, I'm with you. I'm an SEC person as well.
Roll Tide.
Oh, you're one of those. Anywho, you're one of those. Fucking Nick Saban. Anywho, the Big 12 has their conference championship game at AT&T Stadium in Dallas, Saturday, December 2nd. And the logo that you see if you're watching the video here is the logo that will be on the field for that game. WWE has partnered.
Not gonna lie, that kind
it does.
Cool. I'm not gonna say her
WWE has partnered with the Big 12 to be part of these festivities. I think it's a multi-year deal with the Big 12 championship game for college football. What's going to happen is this. Obviously, they're going to crown a Big 12 champion. That champion may or may not go to the college football playoffs this year, definitely probably next year. However, you crown the champion, the team gets a trophy. However, in all of these major conference championship games, you always get a most outstanding player. So the most outstanding player for the Big 12 championship game will be receiving a custom WWE championship belt.
Oh, that's going to be
On top of that, they are going to get the belt handed to them by a current WWE superstar. So WWE is going to be all over this broadcast, all over the Big 12 Championship week in Dallas. They're going to be partnering with them, doing a bunch of events. This is something ridiculously unprecedented in the world of pro wrestling and pro wrestling marketing. This is absurd. It's brilliant. It's genius. You go to where your fan base is.
Tony's gonna be like, someone's gonna watch Tony. Tony's gonna be like, I want to do that too.
Well, here's the thing. AEW lauds. Let's speak marketing real quick. AEW lauds about having the 18 to 34 demographic. You know what the 18 to 34 demographic also does? Watch a lot of fucking college football. Okay, yep. So this is going to hit this is just a brilliant move. This is somewhat of a competitive move, but this is going to bring a whole new blended fan base into it. Professional athletes and college athletes talk about wrestling all the freaking time. Announcers talk about WWE when a professional football player gets too aggressive all the freaking time. Yep. You know, this is a perfect merger at one of the biggest, most prominent conferences in college football, and now you're going to have a WWE logo there. This is, I'm excited. I want to see how this looks. I also want to see what superstar shows up. My official guess, is going to be Big E.
Oh yeah, Big E, definitely. He's a big, huge college football fan. I think he's a fan of the
Iowa Hawkeyes. That's where he went.
I thought he was going to be the Ducks. I could have sworn he was a big fan of the Ducks of the Oregon. No, that's a different team.
You know.
My brain. Sorry, y'all. I'm still getting over me being sick. So my brain is very much in a fog.
It's interesting. I will say this. I will be tuning into this because I want to see how this plays out. I also look this way. It's Big 12. I know she's an SEC girl. I wouldn't be surprised if Bianca Belair hands over this title.
Oh yeah, you know she's big time into sports. You know she was a track star I know she's a big fan of Kentucky. I know that.
Even though she went to Tennessee. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised because, I mean, there's a bunch of other former college athletes. Baron Corbin, although I don't think they'll use him. They're going to use a face. They're going
to use somebody.
Listen, at this point.
I'm sorry, but this would have been a big time to actually use Top Dollar.
This
would have been a great time to fucking use Top Dollar. But they fucking fired him. They would have been a great time to fucking use it because he literally he went to college. He did college football. Then he went to the NFL. Mm-hmm. He would have brought in the fucking fans. That would have been money.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if WWE really wants to start pushing this. I wouldn't be surprised because Roman's not doing it. I think that would be ridiculous if Roman did it. I would be surprised as hell if Roman did it. But I will tell you this. I think, and here's going to be my official prediction in this whole thing. I think we might get Cody Rhodes to present this title. Either Cody Rhodes or LA Knight.
Ooh.
Okay. Cody is over like Roman. It's going to forever be hot. LA Knight would be perfect. It's not going to be Logan Paul. He's too much of a douche. But having Cody show up and present that title, huge deal. Having LA Knight shows a lot of faith in LA Knight. But I think it's potentially as high as LA Knight showing up and handing over that most improved player or most outstanding player belt. It's a big deal. I'm excited for this. We'll see how this goes. And so more of that to be continued. Saturday, December 2nd, Big 12 Championship featuring WWE, which is gonna be so wild. But yes. The reason for this season that we're here, let's get into it, folks. Survivor Series War Games is this Saturday after Thanksgiving, which is traditionally usually around the time that Survivor Series happens. It's going to be emanating from Chicago at the Allstate Arena because WWE likes the acoustics and apparently doesn't want to sell out the United Center. I don't know why.
It would have been so much better at United Center, but yeah, okay.
I'm aware. So the last time Survivor Series War Games, or Survivor Series Weekend actually, was in Chicago. War Games was part of NXT that Saturday, and on top of that, NXT was vying to be a legitimate third brand. You had the NXT Invasion angle. Keith Lee was a good superstar at that time as well. Matt Riddle wasn't Matt Riddle at the time, and it was a fantastic show. And then Shayna Baszler kind of screwed the pooch at the end of the night. So completely different time. Kevin Owens returned to NXT for a night. It was a pretty wild event. It's an event that I was at along with Will. We drove 10 hours to get to Chicago through the dark of night, never driving through Pennsylvania again. But we were there. I understand the Chicago fan base and how loud they can get, especially in that arena. It is going to be a big deal.
Remember, guys, we're the ones who made the meat chants. You're welcome.
I hate that. Anywho, my question for you, Smilee, are you going to be at War Games?
Fuck.
Okay.
No. Tickets are way too expensive for me to be all the way at the tippy top of the Allstate Arena. I will basically look, guys. The way they have it set up. So you know that War Games was basically sold out. It was basically sold out. So what they did was they opened more seats all the way at the tippy top where the fucking Sting seats are.
The Raptors.
If y'all know the Sting shit, there's the Sting Raptor seats. That's basically where they want us to be sitting. And they're charging people $120+ for those seats. And I said, absolutely not. You will not be getting my money. I will be watching this in the comfort of my home, on my sofa, with my dog and my snacks. I'm good. I'm not paying $120+ plus $35 for parking.
That's why we took taxis.
Absolutely not.
We took taxis to the arena every night.
Oh, that's why. I was just like, taxi.
Or taxi. My fault, not taxi. I mean, Ubers. Whatever.
Yeah, I'm like, taxis? What are we, downtown?
You know what?
Yeah,
You know what I
downtown.
meant. Damn it.
Ubers. I'm like, we don't have taxis on the
Listen,
south side. That's
listen.
downtown
We did what we
shit.
did, and it was a great time. Shout out to your hot dog game, by the way. Your hot dogs are great.
We're known for it.
Yeah. So with that being said, the War Games card, as we know it right now, as we are recording, is a shorter card. It's not like a 9-match spectacle like AEW Full Gear was trying to be. This is more on the lines of 5 or 6 matches, because if you know anything about War Games matches take forever.
They take about 30 plus minutes, 30 plus 45 minutes for those freaking shits to everyone get their spots
Especially, and it's like 30 to 45 minutes before the bell rings to start the match. So, with that being said,
because
yeah, we're going to start at the top with the men's War Game card. I've called them Team Yeet versus Team Judgment Day. Judgment Day, Judgment Day, including Damian Priest, who thinks he's a leader, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, JD McDonough, finally pledging Judgment Day full and initiated member, and member for a night. Drew McIntyre, emo Drew McIntyre is back, sword and everything, versus Team Yeet, Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, Yeet main event Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, and as confirmed on Monday Night Raw this week, Randy Orton is coming back.
Randall is back. Randall is back. But on top of that, Randall has some new merch. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you guys right now what the hell that brand new fucking Randall merch looks like. And let me tell you right now, as a Chicagoan, it looks kind of sus. Like I said here, if I can lie. It looks kind of sus. I'm over here looking, peeking. I'm like, Like, look at this, guys. Look at this. Do you see that? What is that in the middle? What is that in the middle, you ask? Baby, that is a fucking lightning bolt. That is
lightning
a
bolt?
lightning bolt in the fucking middle. And you know what that means, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone knows what that means. Holy shit, is that a motherfucking CM Punk reference?
All right, we'll talk about it right now. So there was a rumor about they were going to announce Randy early so that y'all Chicagoans wouldn't go buck wild and hijack the show over CM Punk.
Well, you know they're gonna do that anyway.
I know, this is the hope. This is the hope that an impending Randy return would stifle the CM Punk chance. Okay, so there's that, and we'll get to what we think the card's gonna be. However, I want to pose this to you too, Smilee. All we know is a verbal confirmation from Cody Rhodes that Randy Orton is showing up at Survivor Series War Games. Randy Orton did not come out. We did not hear the voices at all to end Raw. They kind of sopranoed us, to be completely honest. So I want to gauge this to you, and I don't like to talk about Phil all the time, but at this very moment, we have Shinsuke trying to challenge a faux person that's not named. We have Randy allegedly coming back. You just showed me the lightning bolts on with the snake in his new gear, and the oh my god is that a CM Punk reference. So you can be your marquee Chicagoan self. I
can't help it. It's literally right there. It's right there. Like I don't know what to say, but it's right there.
Yeah, it is.
There it is. Lightning bolt.
All right, so here we go. Do you think it is possible that Randy never appears at War Games and gets replaced by CM Punk?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
As much as WWE keeps telling everyone, saying that Phil's never going to come back, even though a lot of people's like, we don't care if CM Punk comes back and it's more eyes on us. If they do decide to be like, hey, because from what everyone's saying, Randall got like triple fusion back surgery.
Yeah.
Apparently, that's like a career ender because that's what Edge got. That's what Saraya. No, she had neck fusion surgery, and this is his back. So he had what was it like? What's it? Triple fusion back surgery.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Matt Riddle. Could be
F him. He's terrible. And that could be basically a career ender. And for him to come back and start doing bumps again, like I'm very much don't want to see that. Like, I'm sorry, I don't want to see a man who literally had triple fusion back surgery come back and do bumps. I don't want to see it. It will scare the hell out of me.
So are you saying that Randy might come back? I'm not Randy. Are you saying that Punk might take his place? Are you saying that is a possibility at the moment?
Maybe, but from what WWE wants to do, they really want us to shut up. They really like, you know what? Here's some brand new Randall merch. Here's us saying Randy's gonna come back. Shut up. CM Punk's not coming back. And then here comes Saturday. Cody gets a call saying that Randall's not gonna come back. Randall's gonna be replaced with somebody else. Now you hear is the crowd goes fucking wild. And boom, bam, money. People will pay for that CM Punk merchandise. I don't care what anyone says. They will pay for the merchandise.
Yeah. I mean, that's all there is to it. You bring up a good point because I am kind of concerned that WWE, historically, especially when Vince was running the show, hated their surprises ruined. Yeah. They did.
So for them to literally be like, it's Randall, like before Saturday, I'm just like, what? You gotta ruin the surprise.
This might be a swerve. This might be a swerve to put us off the CM Punk's end. So I'm gonna say it's a high possibility. It's a high possibility. It'll be weird, but if anybody can control CM Punk, it's this new era of WWE because guess what? CM Punk's not gonna be the top draw. Nowhere close to it at all. But let's get into what we have right now with this match. This is probably going to main event the show. It's the bigger of the two War Games matches. The women's match is going to be 4-on-4 versus 5-on-5. It fluctuates depending on the year and the participants. This is the best talent that we have thus far, and Judgment Day. This is the best talent that we have thus far, and Judgment Day all in one match. There's a lot of dynamics that could happen in this match. I think, my official prediction is, I think there are too many people who think they're the leader of Judgment Day, and I think it's going to go down to Drew and Damien. They're going to screw each other over, which gives Team Yeet, the faces, the win. So I think Cody, Seth, Jay, potentially Randy, and everybody's great guy Sammy wins this thing because Judgment Day still can't get their act together. What are your thoughts here, Smilee?
I would love to see nothing more than a Judgment Day finally implode. Because Damien thinks that he's the leader. Then Finn will feel some type of way. They'll get into it. And then Mommy's not going to be helping because she's going to be too busy flirting with fucking Jey Uso. Fucking waving at each other.
Don't tell Buddy.
Don't tell Buddy. Look, that's his own problem. I'm out. And then you have, what is his name?
Who? JD McDonough?
Yeah, me more lottie got more head than he got body.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. He doesn't matter. Take him back to the fucking NXT UK. And then you have little Rey Mysterio Jr. Who's just, he's such a perfect heel.
Condom, baby.
Everyone hates him.
That's what makes it great.
And he's great. It's great. And he wouldn't know what to do if, Damien and Finn start fighting. And then Drew's not going to want to be a part of it. Drew's going to walk away and boom, bam, Team Yeet gets the fucking win.
There you go.
Because they're going to fucking explode.
Yep, Team Yeet, greatest thing of all time at the moment. I will say this right now, and I don't care what anybody thinks. The Yeet movement is better than the Yes movement.
Yes.
You mean
Modern day yes
The yeet movement is the
is
modern day yes movement. Yeet,
yeah.
yeet, yeet. So let's yeet this and move over to the women. We have Team Damage Control versus Team People who are trying to be friends. We have
Yeah.
because Dakota Kai can't wrestle until like somewhere in mid 2024. You have Io Sky, Kana, because I don't want to call her Asuka with that face mask. Bailey,
Nope.
the accepted white passing Hispanic woman, and Kairi Sane, the woman with the best elbow drop in the history of pro wrestling. Don't at me versus Bianca Belair, Shotzi, and for some reason, I don't know how this is going to play out. Charlotte and Becky on the same team. Now, the last time that Charlotte and Becky shared anything in Survivor Series, it was in Brooklyn. One of the first big shows WWE did after the pandemic was coming to a close. And at that time, Becky and Charlotte wanted to literally, in real life, kill each other.
Yep, they hated each other. Hated each other.
And they put on a
That group
fantastic
chat
match,
must have been
by the
some
way.
shit.
It was the opening match that year, and it was a really, really good match, all things considered. So I'm not sure if we're ever going to address that elephant in the room. If they've
Never. It never happened.
if they reconciled in real life, I am very concerned about the dynamics of that team. But there's always a chance that Bailey can get turned on in the cage.
Because she is. Like, it's starting to show just a little bit. Like, I think it was like Dakota and all of the it was the Japanese wrestlers. Kana, I'm not calling her Asuka with that fucking face mask. Io, and
Kairi.
Yeah, Kairi thing. Yeah, all of them were speaking Japanese, and then here comes Bailey, who don't speak a lick of it, and they're just all like, "Oh, she's here." Like, it's no longer Damage Control; it's Bailey, and then the four besties. Like, it's gonna implode eventually. Kairi's gonna be like, "You know what? I've had enough of you. Like, you're out. You're gone. Bye." And she's gonna get kicked out. She's gonna be all alone because usually she has somebody on her side, usually like a Mercedes or Becky or Charlotte, and now it's just the three of them. They're not getting along, so Bayley will be by herself. She won't have Damage Control. Mercedes is no longer in that company, so she will be literally all by herself. She'll have no one to back her up. She's just going to do this shit by herself. And when it does implode, team, everyone just wants to be friends, is probably going to win.
Yeah, somehow, some way, I think that's probably going to happen. I also think you don't bring back Kairi to have her be relegated to a stable at all. I'm excited. I'm always excited for Shotzi. Big Shotzi fan. This is a Shotzi. This is not a Shotzi match. This is a Shotzi Blackheart match. Because she's gonna do something psychotic, as well as Io. Io is the only woman to be in all of the women's War Games matches ever done by WWE. So kudos to her for that. This is going to be a much more entertaining match than people are probably going to give it credit for. There's a lot of good workers. There's a lot of women who just don't give a damn about their bodies. So it's going to be fun. But I do think, I think, even though we said we're not going to address it, I think, because you got to have one of the heel teams has to win, one of the face teams has to win. I think Charlotte, Becky, Bianca, and Shotzi lose. I think they ride the Damage Control rides the wave for now. Bayley gets kicked out later. But I think the big issue is that, especially if they don't do it on SmackDown on Friday, if Charlotte and Becky don't if they don't kind of connect that long-term story, and if for some reason they don't address those issues beforehand, it's going to happen in the cage. And Damage Control is going to take advantage.
Yeah. Now I see. Okay, I see.
Yeah, I should work for creative, but I like to live a stress-free life, so that's why I don't do that. That's why I didn't do that. So yeah, I'm going with Damage Control. Are you still going with T-Face?
No, I'm gonna go with Damage.
All right, we're gonna.
Damage Control. Definitely gonna see they're gonna see like they're not all together, especially with Becky and Charlotte still butting heads, but acting like they're besties at shows.
Yeah, come on. You think Becky's going to forget? Becky don't forget.
No, Becky not gonna freaking forget.
Becky don't forget. Becky waiting for this moment. Moving on to
Nope.
we're done with the War Games matches, but now the rest of the matches that we have here previewing are just singles matches. And of all the matches to might steal the weekend outside of the War Games matches, you have Gunther, the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time, putting his title on the line against arguably, and I say arguably at this point because it's not solidified yet, arguably the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time, The Miz. Say what you want about The Miz's in-ring work.
That promo was the best shit I've ever seen. Like
Yeah.
finally we have a wrestler that knows how to have people shut the hell up on those stupid USA fans.
Yeah.
Like, you really thought you're gonna sit here and try to be racist because he's from Germany. He literally shut you all down and made you all shut the fuck up about those stupid USA chants. That's why, like, he doesn't even live there. He was born there, grew up there, but now he lives in the US. Get over it.
Yes.
He's literally about to be a citizen. So shut the hell up. Stop being racist. Stop being racist. Thank you.
And on top of that as well, I saw his wedding video. He knows how to bust a move. He seems like a fun guy to go out with. he does.
I've seen him I've seen him in downtown Orlando drinking beer with the rest of Emporium. He's a fun guy. He
Yeah.
really is. Outside, cool guy. Shout out to Gunther.
Shout out to
He's
Gunther.
cool.
I mean, and then you have Miz, who is the consummate professional, who literally did the impossible and maybe 5 or 6 years ago and revived the Intercontinental Championship. Talking smack promo. That's all you got to say. And that's when I really started to respect The Miz and become a giant Miz fan. The man's brilliant. He's great. He knows how to get people over. He knows how to knows how to make you hate him. He knows how to make you love him.
He also got Maurice. Okay,
Yeah.
he wins. He got
Kudos,
Maurice.
yes,
He
absolutely.
wins.
Absolutely
He
to
wins.
that as well. If Miz wins this and beats Gunther, he then becomes tied for the most Intercontinental Championship reigns of all time. He would be tied with somebody named Chris Jericho. And historically, what WWE loves to do, especially with former wrestlers who like to talk shit, is they like to erase them from the history books.
Yep.
And they become a distant memory. And I've been waiting for the day when they replace Chris Jericho at the top of the IC title reign list with The Miz. Unfortunately, WWE is going to Germany next year, and I think Gunther is still going to be as dominant, if not more dominant than ever. And just on that alone, this match is going to be so entertaining. People are going to realize why The Miz is one of the all-time greatest wrestlers in the history of pro wrestling. But Gunther's going to win.
Yep.
I think that's what it comes down to. You have...
He's taking that title into 2024.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, at this point, you got to do it. Hell, if he even drops anytime soon, which I don't know if he will, there's a lot of variables involved. I would argue that Gunther deserves a WrestleMania main event either on night 1 or night 2. I don't know if it's going to happen this year. I think they might hold it off for a little bit, but he is main event worthy, especially after one of the most insane triple threats in the history of pro wrestling at WrestleMania in Hollywood last year. Absolutely buck wild. But Gunther wins. I mean, and there's something to be said about two professional wrestlers dressed in full suits having a promo off against each other.
Yep.
It was great. It was great. It was brilliant. It was classic look. I enjoyed it a lot. This is going to be fun, but I think Gunther takes it. Moving on to the other championship match on the card, Mommy Rhea versus Zoey Stark. Zoey Stark won a fatal 5-way on Raw after losing like a fatal 5-way at Crown Jewel.
Who cares?
To
Who
be
cares about
fed
her?
to Rhea. Now, I'm a big Zoey Stark fan. I think she has a lot of talent. Promo skills can use some work. In ring, I think she's fine. I love the half sleeve jacket. I think it's just a great look. Unfortunately, she's not built up well enough to go up against Rhea.
Because she's trash. She's a 20-some-year-old woman who looked like she's in her fucking 50s.
Is she 27?
She's also a big... She's 20-something. She's literally in her 20s, or like my age. Let me
someone look that up for me, because I don't know how old Zoey Stark is.
She's 29. She's 29 years old. She looks like she's in her fucking mid-40s. She's a whole-ass Trumpster. She can kiss she's boring. Boring. You bore me, Zoey. What is your storyline? Nothing. You have no personality. You're as boring as, look at my back girl. What is her name? Don't care.
Oh, Raquel.
There we go. Yeah, her whole thing is, look at my back.
I will say this. I was never more invested in main roster Raquel than when she went up against Nia on Monday Night Raw. Because guess what, folks? Nia did what she was supposed to do. And she did a really good job at it. And people need to stop hating on Nia Jax. But that's not about Nia or Raquel. We're talking about Rhea.
Because again, if it was not for Nia Jax, there would be no the man, Becky Lynch. Just going to put it out there. If it was not for her giving her a fucking concussion and giving her that badass photo that everyone knows of her being all fucking bloody and out of her fucking mind because she got a concussion, there would be no the man. Facts. Okay? Everyone go thank Nia Jax today. Even though she is a little bit of a fucking weirdo who does not like fucking vaccines.
That's facts.
But we're not going to get on that.
All facts. I will say this about Nia. Her TikTok is funny as fuck. Anywho. just find the TikTok with Nia Jax and Cody Rhodes. You'll thank me later. You will thank me.
Poor Cuban. That quarter of Cuban barely.
It's a whole quarter. It's a whole quarter. Anywho, we're enough about Nia and all of that. The thing you put on the nail here. The Zoey Stark and Rhea Ripley storyline is the least invested storyline that WWE has put out. This is a match just for the sake of having a match and making sure Rhea does something.
This could have been on TV. This could have been on a Raw. Yeah,
absolutely.
There's nothing to be on War Games. They're just giving us to be like, see, here's more women's match. Here's a Rhea match. It's probably only going to last like 5 minutes.
This will be the match before the men's War Games, I think. Rhea's going to win, and it'll be fine.
Yep.
It'll be fine. Rhea's going to win. It's going to be fine. Rhea will win. She'll try to motivate Judgment Day when they come out, and Judgment Day will find a way to screw it up because they will. Moving on to the last match that is listed currently right now on the card.
Santos Escobar.
Yes. Carlito making his first WWE pay-per-view match in like 16 years versus Santos Escobar, who is finally becoming the Santos Escobar that we all fell in love with in NXT. They gave him his Legado del Fantasma music back again, one of the best theme songs that NXT has ever come up with. He came out on SmackDown looking like Scarface. Okay, that was deliberate. He ran down Ray. He ran down all of the LWO. Zelina slapped him, and Zelina, give her an Emmy. And he totally kicked Joaquin Wilde and I forgot the other guy. I can see his face.
I can see too, and I always would make fun of him in NXT house shows when I told him to come take a picture with the squad. I can't.
Is it Raul Mendoza?
Yeah, Raul.
Yeah, it's Raul Mendoza. He kicked them to the curb. He's like, I'm the only reason you guys are relevant, and he's kind of got a point. So we are now seeing a pure heel Scarface Santos that we were kind of getting before they called him up to NXT and lost to Tony D, and the family. And now it's going to be full blown. I am very excited for this because this is the character that I saw in NXT, and I was like, this guy can be the lead of a show. He's not, but he has the potential to be a big time player if his heel run goes well. Carlito is going to be a big test for him because Carlito's a cologne and they just know how to wrestle the backs off of people. So this is going to be fun. However, I think the smart move is, as much as it would be great to have Carlito win his first pay-per-view match, I think Carlito does the job to Santos because the money is in Santos for the future and not Carlito right now. I'm excited for Carlito. I'm very excited to see Carlito. I hope we get an apple and spitting somebody in the face. I think that'd be great.
Yeah. I need in my life.
But I'm going to go with Santos here, and I know you are a big Santos fan, so fangirl your ass about Santos real quick.
I'm a big Carlito fan. I can't choose because I loved Santos when he was in NXT and he had his whole faction. That's when I was definitely looking at him. But also, I'm a big, huge Carlito fan. Like, I loved Carlito back when he didn't have any hair on his face. He was just a shaven Carlito spitting apples in people's faces, knowing damn well I wanted him to spit it back.
Let it out. Let it out.
Can't sit down here. Can't sit down here. Y'all men will judge me for being disgusting. But no, I was a big, huge Carlito fan. And, I would watch him along with, people like JTG. He would come to shows. He would pop up, with JTG. He would do indie shows, indie matches, and I was like, oh my god, Carlito still look good, for someone who hasn't been in WWE for like ages. And then he came back in Puerto Rico, and that's what I was just like, is he gonna go back? Like, is he gonna go back? And when he started canceling multiple indie dates, that's when I was just like, oh yeah, he's going back.
So who's your choice here?
And that's what I can't choose.
Yeah, I'm gonna, you are going to pick one.
I hope. I can't. I love them both. I love Santos and I also love Carlito. Like, don't make me choose.
I mean, we can flip a coin.
Don't make me fucking choose. Don't make me fucking choose. It's just like if it was not for Santos, LWO would probably implode. Well, they are technically imploded because they lost a member.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like, in my head, I'm kind of like, if Santos does win, and in my head, I kind of want Carlito to also turn on Ray and then go be with Santos and make their own LWO. I don't know. I like them both, so I don't know who to choose. I just hope they have a good.
I'm gonna make you make a choice.
Fuck! I can't.
Do it. Go with your gut.
Carlito.
All right, we're going with Carlito. I'm going with Santos.
Carlito.
So, folks, that's all we have for the Survivor Series War Games card. Again, the reason that there's so little matches is because War Games matches will probably take each an hour. So, if that, and whatever surprises that may come with that. So, it's going to be this Saturday after Thanksgiving. On Peacock, obviously, Survivor Series War Games, and then you know the drill here, Smilee. We're going to need you to crown it. So how well do you think this premium live event or pay-per-view will be? 1 crown being the worst thing in the world, or 10 crowns being the greatest pay-per-view you've ever seen? How good do you think the show will be?
It's definitely going to be a 6 because of all the War Games that's going to be happening. But definitely it's going to be a 6 because when everyone realizes that they bought these expensive ass tickets just to see if Pepsi Phil will return and he doesn't, they're going to be absolutely upset. And the men are going to be very upset in the comments on Twitter. They're going to be very upset if they do not hear their favorite man's theme song.
Yeah, it's going to be a giant punk fake as the title of this show is going to be. For me, it may be disappointing to Chicago people and give it a 6. I'm very excited for this. WWE in the last year and a half has almost not missed with a lot of their shows. This being a traditional Big Four, this is either get with it or get out. The one match I have concerns about, we already just talked about, Rhea Ripley, Zoey Stark. That's gonna, that could make or break this show. But I'm gonna go with a solid 8. I think they're gonna. It's CM Punk surprise or not. I don't actually expect CM Punk to show up. I will be pleasantly surprised if he does. I do not expect Punk to show up at all. But I do expect a pretty wild match, especially that men's match, and that women's match is going to be great storytelling, more so than spots, because that's what the women do very, very well. So I'm going to give it an 8. Yeah, an 8. It's going to be a good show, and I can't wait to watch it probably online with my friends while I munch on some leftovers. I'm just joking. I'm eating Chinese food. But that's what it'll... Yeah, best Chinese food ever. Better than Chicago's.
You're not going to have Thanksgiving leftovers?
You're assuming I'm going to Thanksgiving. I am, but I might. I might have leftovers. I have a weird thing, like I have to have Chinese food when I'm watching wrestling. It's this weird habit I got into a while back.
That's fine.
It is what it is. But that's all the show that we have for this week. Obviously, Smilee, I want to thank you for coming on the show and talking about all things Chicago and, unfortunately, some things Phil with us on the show and helping me to preview Survivor Series War Games. So I'm going to give the floor to you. Promote, push, whatever you want. Take all the time you need.
You can definitely find me on Twitter at right here on my handle. It is Smilee with 2 E's, BWR. I just go in there and talk shit. I don't have a podcast, anything like that or anymore, because who the hell wants to listen to another wrestling podcast? Except for this
exactly.
one. Except for
exactly.
This one. It's the one you need to listen to. All the other ones are trash. All of them. Except for this one. Listen to this one and this one only. Okay. Other than that, you can definitely just follow me on my Twitter. I don't get on Instagram, even though I have one. I haven't been on there since Threads tried to be a thing. That's the last time I was on Instagram.
Threads might still be a thing. That's another topic for another time.
Yeah, you just follow me on Twitter. If you may or may not find my old podcast page, you can go back and listen to those episodes. Those were old. They were terrible.
TNT, baby. I'm on there.
They're terrible. Oh, gosh, they were bad.
I'm on there on an episode somewhere.
Yes, somewhere. I don't know which episode. I don't even know what this is. I'm about to open the vault and try to find them. But I don't know where they are. They're in the vault somewhere. It's called the Black Wrestling. Yeah. It's
TNT. It's somewhere.
It was called the TNT, but then I changed it to the Black Wrestling Revolution podcast. And it was just me and my friend. And then it was just me. And I kind of just gave up on it. So I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
So, if you want to go find those, they're on Apple Podcasts somewhere.
Somewhere in the ether and somewhere in the sphere.
Somewhere on the ether of Apple Podcasts is where my old wrestling podcast used to be. But I'm mainly on Twitter to talk shit, show pictures of my dog, and to make white fanboys upset.
And that is truly your superpower. And my superpower is making sure that we get out of here so we can all start to enjoy this Thanksgiving weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been listening to Kings of the Rings podcast, episode number 360, Punk Fake. Because if you think CM Punk is showing up on Saturday, you're going to have a bad time while eating your Thanksgiving leftovers. I have been your host, King Rickie Rozay. You can personally find me nowhere on social media until next year at Ambassador Biggs, BIGZ, Ambassador Biggs across all social media. But you can find Kings of the Rings podcast at KOTR_podcast across all social media outlets. Like, share, subscribe, leave us 5-star reviews, buy some of our great merch. I'm wearing some of it right now. The link to it is in the description below. If you're listening to us, make sure you're listening to us on your favorite podcast listening site by subscribing to Wrestle Addict Radio, the cure for the common wrestling podcast. And follow Wrestle Addict Radio socials at addict_wrestle on Twitter, because I don't call it X, and Wrestle Addict Radio everywhere else.
Who calls it
on
X?
social media.
No one
Incels
calls it
X, goddammit. And when we come back next week, we're going to have the fallout from War Games. Tony Khan will probably have signed somebody new with another massive announcement. Somehow he still has money. And it's going to be December. That's weird. It's going to be a very, very interesting December with obviously a new special guest host to be announced. So until then, folks, goodbye, good night. We will see you soon. And I feel like I'm missing something.
You guys are allowed to put up your Christmas trees the day after Thanksgiving.
That's
welcome.
True.
If anybody else says you're not, don't listen.
Yeah, and the one person you should...
Mine is already upstairs in my living room waiting to be opened.
Yeah,
okay?
I'm looking at you, Slack, because that's definitely a Slack thing. So fuck you, Slack. We'll see you soon.
Fuck you,
Yeah,
Flash.
there it is. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
This has been a Wrestle Addict Radio branded podcast.